This 35 card order was the first one I sent in under the January special. You see the timeline, it got stuck after assembly was done. Stuck for over a month. 34 business days total, still pretty quick. Saturday, January 20th when I'm doing this. We're going a little more casual here this time. What? That's the Goodwill house shirt find. Prepping a PSA order here. End of January, as I said, they've got the $15 special going on. Organize these a little bit better, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and submit a couple orders here. This one potentially going out right now as one order. What do you guys think of, as I'm just randomly moving around here, some people say that PSA, you know, the tinfoil hat type could be true, right? People talk about all kinds of things when it comes to PSA and cards, right? So we're going to go ahead and crack these slabs out here. A couple Shaq 9s, Aikman and Sanders 9s. Submitted those long ago, 409 card order. If you didn't see that video, it's from a long time ago. Put a link to the recap so you can check it out. Those cards I thought were 10s. Same with this Favre. Thought this one was a 10. Could have missed something there, just cracking it open. See what it looks like. Reassess it for potential resubmission. 24 card SGC to PSA order. These two were 9.5s. You see, they gave the ball a 9, and then they gave the Kobe a 7. So we're going to crack those out. That video, I'll post a card for that as well. Yeah. And then this card was one I had graded that I thought could have been a 10, but SGC was handing me out 9.5s like a mofo. So I'm going to crack all of these out, resub those as part of my order here. So let me get all these out and take a look at them and see what's going on with these. Shaq number 1, you see here. I thought this card was super clean when I initially sent it in. Centering was great and everything like that. Didn't see anything on the back. Back in you go. In addition to those, along with that 409 card order, I had 4 of these cards come back as missized, and these were all cards that I pulled myself. I opened all the packs for that. So what I'm going to do is take a look, possibly send those back in. I'm just going to compare these to this random card here. And if the sizing is right, if the cards look properly sized, then I'll go ahead and send those back in as well and see what they say. This one here, pretty clean as well. Centering a little bit thicker on the bottom border there. So it looks to be a little faint print line. Let's see if I can get this lined up. It's kind of like right here. It runs vertical down the card, like right in there. Not sure if you're going to be able to pick that up even. I don't know. Probably just end up sending that one in though. F it, right? Put that one behind the other one that looks a little bit better for sure. That was easy. So this one will probably be a 9. I see some surface scratching there. Very faint. Not sure if you can pick it up. Hopefully when I'm editing, some of these scratches will appear and I can zoom in on it for you all. So what I was talking about at the beginning of this part of the video was, I hear some people talk about all of these different theories about PSA and saying they feel, or they're theorizing or wondering if it's better to send in smaller orders. Can you imagine being a grader and my 409 card order comes across your desk? Your day is basically shot, right? So keeping the order smaller, something in the 25 to 30 range, we'll never know if there's any merit to that. People just throw out random theories. Of course, there's no transparency with PSA in terms of whether or not their graders actually do a good job. Who's grading the graders? You would obviously hope that there's a degree of professionalism, right? Regardless of the order size. Took out one of the Jordans here, that they would be consistent throughout. Grading. Can you imagine being a grader? I'm sure those of you who grade, there's a second one. When you are going through your own cards, prepping, getting everything ready, it's a tedious task. And that's for your own cards. Imagine having to deal with somebody else's cards all day long. It's tough, right? I guess we'll just go ahead and set this here. Yeah, I can see it. It looks a little bit shorter, slightly. You can see, hopefully I have it lined up there properly. Depending on angle, look like here, nothing. Right here, you know, the eye trick there Does seem a little bit smaller, but we're gonna go ahead and throw that back in to the mix, see what happens. Pretty clean. I'm not going to predict a grade on that, but we'll see if they actually grade it. That's the main thing. So in terms of card placement, I don't know where I'd want to put that. Maybe I'll put it towards the end of the order, sneak it through. Here's that one. I think I have it lined up pretty well. As you can see here, our comparison card a little bit taller on the top. Actually, you might see a little bit, here, let me flip it over so you can see here, kind of like an overlap. I get overlap, but a little bit wider as well. Maybe. Again, if I have it properly lined up, you can see a little bit of the brown from the Skybox card in the back there. Again, we're ramming it through, baby. We don't care. No grade prediction on that. Again, those cards both look really clean. Centering is really good, but it fits in a standard sleeve. So there's those two. Second one we'll put behind this one. That one looked a little bit bigger. So we'll see what they do with those. Yeah, card placement though. Where do we place those? Towards the end of the order is my thought. Well, what do you think of that though? Do you think there's anything to that? Smaller orders? Anything like that? I don't know. I'm not sure I really buy into that myself. I think I was being a little too gentle before. What is this? Look at that. They've got these little, I'm sure you can see it there, these little plastic things on either corner. They kind of just stick it in there, keep those from moving. Oh no, it's a whole film. It's actually a whole film on the card. Interesting. Have you ever noticed that before? And then there was some moisture underneath. I peeled this off. Hopefully it was shown already so I can zoom in on it. But yeah, I started peeling before I showed you all that. Fortunately, it doesn't look like any of the moisture stuck on the card. You heard me talk before about that, about how it can damage the card, leave white spots on the card. So check your chrome-based cards often. Make sure they're not spotting. Spotting never leads to good things. Just ask your wives or your girlfriends. Never leads to good things. So remember that LaMelo was the 9.5 SGC. PSA graded it a 9. Clean surface. What I saw in there was the centering, a little bit thicker on this border over here. I thought when I sent it in, it looked to be within 60-40 to me. All right, everybody, down to the last 4 cards we're looking at. This is supposed to be the same day. It's actually the next day when I'm shooting this. As you can see, there's huge stacks of cards here and another massive stack behind it. I was doing some 2021 Bowman draft off camera. This berry looks pretty clean. It's funny because in the background right now, you probably can't hear it, but the news is on, and they're talking about the Lions-Bucks game. Obviously, the Lions won that one, 31-23. You can always tell when a guy doesn't have a clue about sports when he uses terms like the land of quick six. And this guy hit the land of quick six many, many, many times. The GOAT running backs. There's a debate to be had, certainly. OJ, Jim Brown, Dickerson, Emmitt Smith. Sweetness, of course. Sweetness, you probably have seen him by the time this video is going to be posted. There's a debate to be had, but for me, like I talked about, it was Barry. I told the story in another video. Recap it here real quick while I'm busting open this Aikman. And this one looked pretty clean, maybe some faint print lining here. I'm calling 10 on this. It was a 10 the first time I sent it in. It's a 10 now, goddamn. The Aikman looked really clean to me when I sent it in. Centering, you can see it's slightly thinner on this side, but still within 60-40. And that was the only issue with it when I sent it in was, is it within, it's not 50-50, clearly 55-45 maybe. That was the thing with a lot of the Deion Sanders cards, because I was opening a bunch of these boxes and I pulled, I want to say 3 or 4 of each card, but the Deion Sanders cards were more off-centered, more difficult to find in gradable condition. So I think I only sent 1, whereas with the Barry and the Aikman, I sent 2 at least, maybe 3. But the conclusion to that Barry story was I was in Tijuana. And again, if you heard the story, fast forward 20 seconds, a kid came up hawking Chick-fil-A on the bridge going back to the US side. I yelled out Barry Sanders, did like a juke and jive spin move, tweak the knee. That's what you get for trying to goof around when it's a serious situation. You're not Barry Sanders. Leave it to the professionals. Let's see what's up with this Brett Favre. It was an 8. Again, looks super clean to me. Right? I didn't see anything on it the first time I sent 2 of these in, and I didn't see anything wrong with the card. Unless there was something on the back I missed, but I didn't see anything. I'm just going to do 1 in this order, then we'll do 1 of these in a future order, if that one looks clean as well. And I just realized I didn't show you the Aikman surface, so let me show that to you here. The thing I would suggest, if you don't do this already, on the very front end, when you have a card, when you intake the thing and you file it wherever you are going to file it, whether you put it in card savers like this or top loaders, highly recommend tear off a little piece of paper and just put the grade you think it will be there, or even hit it with a label maker. Just label it here. 9 surface scratches, centering, 10, whatever you see there. Label it on the front end and get intimate with the card, as I always like to say. Be intimate with it. On the front end, spend a minute or two at least. And this was the Kobe, again, the 9.5 from SGC that crossed to a 7. But yeah, do that on the front end so that you don't have to take the card out again when it's time to submit. I have done okay with that, but some of them more recently when I didn't have as much time, I wasn't as good about that. And especially if it was a 10. I'm like, oh, it's a 10, just throw it in there. Did I just do that? Yeah, I did it. Looks clean to me again on the front. Presents well. Nice clean corners. And do your pre-grading once thoroughly on the front end. And like I said, I'm sure that a lot of you do that probably better than me. What I was looking at was there was potentially like, maybe there was something here on the back. I don't know. Maybe like a surface thingy. There's some light print lining right around in here where the purple is on the shorts. Looks like I'm not able to get the light reflecting off of that. Do the work once properly on the front end so you're not pulling the cards out of the top loader or the card saver. Only bad things happen when you do that. If you thought bad things happened late at night when walking the streets of NYC, New York, some areas of LA, no. Bad things happen when you have to keep pulling your cards out of the top loader or the card saver. Trust your pre-grade. Do it once, do it right. Do it. All right, we'll leave it there. Do it once, do it right. That's what we're going with. So trust your pre-grade, label it, and then when it comes time, send it in. You don't have to pull the card out again. Potentially ding those corners. That's what can go wrong. This is how these will be arranged in this part of the order. This will be at the very end of the order. These Otanis were 10s. The LaMelo and AI were 9.5s. Originally with SGC, the Shaqs were 9s. Berries as well. Favre was an 8. Kobe was a 7. And these MJs were too small to be graded. All right, now we're going to go ahead and roll into the stuff I had set aside from before. So those 12, we're going to go with these 23 to make it a 35 card order. I'm actually going to go with that. Kind of keep the order a little bit smaller. I have this other stack here of 26 cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that as a separate order and add some more into it. And then there's one order where I'm going to hit baseball really heavy and maybe some more draft stuff. So I want to try to get 3 orders total, 3 smaller orders, hopefully. Thought it was a 10. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Front was clean, back was clean. What's that right there? That little speck right there. Oh, Purdy. He got a speck of dirt on him during a game. PSA will mark that down to a 9 because of that. How dare his sock get dirty. Nothing wrong with this one, as far as I can tell. Oh, what's that over there? Print line?